my name is Jeremy Bout, and I think it's interesting if you look at all of the things that we're seeing today. You hear about companies that started 30 years ago, very rewarding careers. You're seeing young people here who are getting excited about opportunities with robots. And the theme is there are a lot of people that are fired up about the industry. But why is it that when you look at stats and you start looking at major companies, like I'm filming with GE next week, why are the statistics so low about young people getting into a field that most of us, quite frankly, love? We've enjoyed it. It's been good to us. We made money off of it. It's given us a stable life, and yet this industry, quite frankly, isn't going to survive what it is experiencing right now. The number of students going in can be traced back to many, many different things. I have my own personal opinions on it. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm up to that would fit into this particular problem. And I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey because for me, I came out of high school, I knew absolutely nothing about manufacturing. My dad was a pastor, my mom stayed at home. We did not, as a family, really brush shoulders with people who were in manufacturing, although we did a lot of woodworking, which is manufacturing in its own way. But my uncle at the time goes, hey, I am about to get into another new venture with my company, and I'm going to buy something called a cutter grinder. And this particular machine, if you want to come see it, it's got 5 axes, and we'll go this summer, we'll get our PhD push here dummy, and we are going to learn to run this thing. So for me, that was my introduction. I thought literally I was going to have a summer job running a CNC machine that was going to be a great thing to, maybe I would go to college or something like this. Well, I got sucked into a world that expanded my view very, very quickly to something much larger than a summer job. And you know, I won't go into all the details of what we did as a company, but we had a lot of different CAM softwares. I made high-performance cutting tools for companies that, quite honestly, a lot of you guys purchase tools from Threadmills and many others, pieces of cutting tools. And it was very interesting. I was involved in the arts, always worked in music, had my own recording studio, and that was really how I got into film. But when I got into this, I thought back to my time in manufacturing, and we often talked a lot about the fact that nobody really respected the industry. You know, I looked at colleagues who had no degree in manufacturing, and yet these were extremely brilliant people. I mean, they had highly sophisticated amounts of knowledge that, quite honestly, most white-collar people couldn't even necessarily relate to. They were learning. You look at X7 coming out, the amount of work it's going to take somebody to really become really good and maximize this software. You're constantly morphing and changing and learning and experiencing it, and it's exciting if you're in that world. So why is it that, you know, we talked a lot about this, who made it? So few people, you know, we've got the show, How It's Made, and that's great, and I really appreciate what they've done with that show. But I think as a most part, we have just taken for granted that a chair like this arrives, that a mold for a speaker like, we've lost touch with the actual personal connection to the industry of who is behind the product. So, you know, we talked a lot about that. When I started Edge Factor, we decided that the manufacturer would be the hero, the engineer, the rock star. We think that the person behind the technology is a very, very important aspect that the industry, quite honestly, needs to re-evaluate. We've got people on the stage who is considered to be somehow very influential. We think that the manufacturer needs to be put back into that position as well. We also believe that a story brings concepts to life and makes them very relevant. The interesting thing, after releasing several of our episodes, we had educators coming to us. You know, I was coming at this from my perspective. I wanted to tell stories of my colleagues. I didn't realize at first that we had such a deep problem across the country getting young people excited about this as a career choice. Well, we had educators coming to us saying, this might be the most effective recruiting tool that we've had because it's in the, you know, puts value on the job. They start to understand why what this person does on a daily basis affects real life. So that was a really interesting step forward. So for the past couple years, we've been very focused on giving teachers unique and powerful tools that would inspire students. and that we try to push the envelope with media that changes how students learn STEM. This is a buzzword. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It's all tied in with manufacturing. Careers in manufacturing, from the engineering side to math, all of these things, all these STEM-related jobs that are being talked about, it really, in the context of a story, makes sense. So this is the one aspect I think that everybody's really struggling with. How do we change a parent's perspective? You hear a lot about, you see the students here, what did their parents think? And for some of the, the BattleBots groups and everything else, I think they have to fight against the parents' perspective sometimes. And so we're working, I've just been on this journey of going from let's tell stories to how do we specifically give resources now to educators to fill classrooms? How do we, instead of seeing programs being taken out of high schools, get them reinstated, where yes, it is expensive to have this program in your school, but it's valuable because you know how many manufacturing companies in your community need people? You as a school need to answer the call. So we are working hard on giving resources through two things. We've got the Edge Factor show, and we are now just at the beginning stages of releasing a new product called ADU Factor Products. This is all about career pathways in focus. And just to give you a quick understanding of how these things work, we currently, with the Edge Factor show, have three major productions: the Chilean Mine Rescue, Gnarly Metal, Metal and Flesh. And out of these come two products. Inside of the EDU Factor, we now have Game Changers kits, which we are working extensively with Mastercam resellers in the education side. And I am here actually to film 3 episodes of a 15-episode series with Mass MEP. We've got really a unique, I think, perspective. A lot of people talk about the amazing career of somebody. But if we're really going to get a young person into the industry, how do we get them to understand how to get to that career? And so that's where LaunchPoint comes in. I'll talk about the Game Changers kit in a little bit. But with LaunchPoint, we want to talk about what attracted somebody to the field initially. Who influenced them? We talk about people again. Who is the influencer in this person's life? Because we recognize that person, for me, it was an uncle. But in other cases, it's a teacher maybe that they met. Or perhaps it was a family friend. What path did they have to take now to get into this career? That's important. And what opportunities came after graduating? And what future opportunities await them? So this series will be available in the spring of 2014. We are expecting that we'll be able to bring this to television through Cox. And we have that opportunity for us. These are some of our sponsors. Very excited to have Mastercam on this sponsor list with us. Give you an idea of what we're going to be filming next week. We have 3 very diverse stories. We've got this young girl, kind of a rock star. She has won every award there is to win. Came out of a high school, technical high school in New York, went to WPI for engineering. Met a lot of really great people who saw the potential in her. GE sees her, says, whoa, she is now working every 6 months in a new GE facility in their leadership training program in the aviation division. So we're going to be working, GE's going to be in the video. We're going to be heading into the plant where they're making some of where she's working currently. And then you switch gears for another story. Not everybody's a rock star. Well, Noel, single parent. This guy, never knew his dad, comes over from Puerto Rico, goes to high school, hangs out with the wrong guys, ends up getting arrested for stealing a car, and comes out and looks at himself and goes, what am I going to do with my life? I'm wasting my life. He gets the opportunity to go to WPI for some training at a facility. Mastercam was very influential in his life. He just fell in love with it when he saw it. And for him, he is now working at Siemens as a machinist, and he's talking about buying a Harley and buying that property that he's always wanted. So very diverse pathways that relate to people. We're giving these resources to educators that they can then use to paint pathways and perspectives in manufacturing, and we hope to do that across the U.S. So this is one of 5 locations. We're actually filming in Phoenix, in Arizona, Phoenix in California, Chicago, Minneapolis, and we're going to be doing that over the next 6 months, so it'll be a busy schedule. A lot of core values for me personally that I want to see come out of this. Be on time. Would you believe the amount of employers that are talking about it? They can't get people to show up on time. So we really want to have young people emulate good character qualities. Handouts are rare. You want to be successful in something, guess what? You're going to have to work really hard to get there. So you have to be committed. And finally, this is an interesting one. Using a smartphone on company time is not a right. A lot of employers really getting after it. So we throw in some of these subtle and yet important points into our productions. We talked about game changers. For us, we have these 3 main productions, Chilean Mine, Gnarly Metal, and Metal and Flesh. I'm going to play a Game Changers video for it. These episodes, these fairly, in some cases it's an hour-long documentary, these are cinematic productions that are then the root material for us to create a kit that are really going to give teachers unique ways to apply our production in the classroom, from lesson plans on the different careers of the people that you see, to a television-ready commercial that they can actually play locally to advertise their training facility. You want to be a game changer and have a career that you saw in that video, come to our community college. And we've got t-shirts and a lot of other things in this kit as well. And so we're very excited. We're just releasing these actually this month, and are working extensively with our resellers to get this rolling out into schools around the world. We hope to have this by the end of the year translated into French and into Spanish as well. And so we're very excited to be at this point with these products. All of this is not original. We just listen to educators, and we're hearing what they're saying, what they need, what's working in the classroom. I know there are some of you here who have used our product effectively to fill your classrooms, and we're thankful for that. And we know that with the help of the feedback, we're going to continue to be able to unlock what will help fill the classrooms. And so it's very much a journey where we're listening, we're building content, we're really pushing the envelope with what we're doing. We've got 3 kits, one for the Chilean mine rescue, one for another pretty major story we just released about a young man who lost his leg, redesigned his own prosthetic. He's won the X Games gold 3 times. He's top against 2-legged guys in his class. Brilliant story. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, I'll be around today. So that's what we do.